Hey guys, so we are about a month into the new homeschool year, and I thought I would do a little bit of a sharing a few things that are working really well, and a few things that we are making some changes to so that they do really work really well. Hey guys, welcome here. My name is Chantel and we are in our 6th year homeschooling, and today I want to talk about things that are working really well and things that we are tweaking to make work really well. So if you follow my personal YouTube channel, you may have noticed that we recently got our littlest foster kid back. So partially because of that, we've been making some adjustments to our homeschool. So when I was making the kind of like curriculum for my kids at the beginning of the year, or beginning of the school year, I went into it with the impression that one or both of our foster kids would probably be going home. And so at this point, it's not looking like that's going to happen. We have both of them. So then I feel like there's been some adjustments I've needed to make. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what some of those adjustments are and what are some things that are working really well, because there really are some things that have been working well and I've been having a lot of fun this year. So I wrote a list and it's in like no particular order. I just wrote things down as I thought of them. So we'll just talk about them in this order. So one of the first changes that we are making is my plan had been for my son to read to me for 15 minutes a day, and this is mostly my fault, but it's not really happening as much as I had wanted. So I needed some kind of something to take place of that, and honestly I haven't found like the perfect solution, but I found something that will work for now. So he's actually a really good reader, but just needs more practice for that fluency for reading chapter books. I'm just like waving this around like a wand or something here. So the two things that are kind of we're using to replace, not that we're going to completely replace him reading to me, but replace it as the regular thing, is we're trying out reading eggs, which I've heard a lot of people talk about. I still haven't completely figured it out. We took the placement test yesterday. And it was 60 questions and he got all 60 questions right. So I'm thinking, because they have a couple different levels, I'm thinking the reading eggs level is a little bit low for him, but I'm gonna he is starting at, I think, what looks like a lesson 111. This is an online like reading program. It has some spelling stuff. They go into like syllables and suffixes, and I don't even know what else at this point. But it looks like a good option for him because he likes things online. If it can be electronic, he is more interested and complains way less. So at this point, I'm good with that. So we're trying out reading eggs just to develop some of those reading skills. And then in addition, we're also going to be using Epic Books. So for reading eggs right now, I have the 30-day free trial. Our plan is to read that, or to use that as much as possible in the next 30 days and decide if we want to buy a subscription. I think it's $10 a month. I can't remember exactly. And so we're also using Epic Books. And what that is they have like audiobooks, they have books that are read to you, but then they also have chapter books where if you get stumped on a word, you click on the word and it tells you the definition. Not the definition, I mean it can, but it also shows how to pronounce it. So if you're reading a sentence and you don't know one of the words in the sentence, you can click on it and it will read it for you, and then you know what word it is. That is the feature that I'm going for. So right now we are using Epic Books for free. Each profile you make for your kids, they can read one free book a day. So like I made one for the preschooler, so he had his one picture book and he could listen to it read to him multiple times in one day, but only the one book. For my son, he's not reading a book a day. So we started a chapter book and it looks like it's going to be a good option. I'm not sure still if it's going to be like the best option, but we're trying that for now. And if it's something that we are actually using, then we might upgrade. So you get one book a day for free, but only certain books, or you can pay $10 a month. And then it's like, I think they have like 40,000 books. We used to have an Epic Books subscription. They gifted one to us because we did a review and my kids really liked it. But at the time they were maybe just a little young to use all the features. And I feel like we're finally at the point now where we could get more use out of it. But I just want to make sure it's something that actually continues and it's not just like something that they're interested in for like the first, 2 weeks or whatever. But that's been good. And then another thing I was thinking about is Kindle has kind of the same feature as far as I think they have wise words, so you can click on a word and it can tell you how to pronounce it, or it can read it out to you. But Kindle books are expensive, and not a ton of kids books that my son is interested in are on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm thinking that Epic Books is probably a better option for him at this point. So that is something that we are doing that is a switch from what we had originally planned, but so far I think this is going to work really well. Something that is working very well is Khan Academy. So this is the first time my kids have done any kind of like math curriculum whatsoever. And this is just online, it's free. So my son is 3rd grade and my daughter is 6th grade. I put my son in a 2nd grade math and my daughter in a 4th grade math, just because they'd never done it before. I wanted to boost the confidence and skills, and so I'm assuming they'll work through those pretty quickly and then like get to their grade level pretty quickly. But I have been very surprised at how much they enjoy it. So Khan Academy has a couple videos for each lesson, and then a couple practice questions, and then a quiz. And they want you to do really well. They want like 100% on everything. I don't care that much for people to get 100% on everything, but my kids have learned a lot already. We've been doing it for a couple weeks. They do like 2 or 3 lessons a week right now. Yeah, and I've been very pleasantly surprised at how well it's gone over. So that has been a success. Another thing is talking about Reading Eggs, Epic Books, Khan Academy. One thing I've noticed is going more digital for my son is helping him a lot. So I'm pretty sure he has dysgraphia. If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure he does. So like just writing is a bit of a struggle. And so being able to do this stuff online has really boosted his confidence. Instead of, having to do his math and having to write out all the numbers, just being able to type them in has boosted his confidence a lot. And that is way more important to me right now than the printing part. So it takes the educational things and it makes it more fun for him. So I have been very thankful that we're doing that this year. And obviously I know some people don't want their kids to do screens for school or like use electronics, but I figure you gotta make things work for you, and this is working really well. And then another thing that's working well is I've been writing weekly lists for my kids. So I write a list, they each have their name and what I want them to accomplish that week. And let's say if they're doing math and they're in place value and I want them to do that more than one day of the week, then I just do more than one circle, however many circles there are. That's how many lessons I want them to do that week. That's going really well. And then at the bottom, I also include the things that we're going to do together. They can both check those different things off. And yeah, I'm really liking this. They've so far been able to like space out their work pretty well for the week. My daughter has a little bit more control over hers because she doesn't need me as much. And my son, I'm just trying to teach him like how to, do a few things each day instead of saving it all for the end. But I'm really liking that. It's very much in the same vein as Sarah Mackenzie's spiral notebook, where she would write the list of things for her kids each day, but I'm just doing the week and then letting them pick which things they want to do each day. And then, so the ideal is, I make this list, but we don't get to everything each week, or sometimes we realize something needs to change or we add something. So I kind of try to keep it like relatively updated. If we don't do it, I put an X in it, or if we add something, then I add that in there. But then I also have my weekly tracker, which you can get for free. It's in my shop, and then if you sign up for the newsletter, I'll send you the code to get one for free. And what I like to do is after we have done stuff, I put it in there. It's pretty much like reverse planning. I've been doing this for years. I've had these weekly trackers actually for quite some time, and it's so good when it comes to the end of the year and I have to like report to our school division what we've done. I fell off the wagon last year and didn't use it and was kicking myself like, ugh. It was so bad. I couldn't remember what we did at all, but this next year when I do my reporting, I am gonna be so thankful. Another thing that's working really well is research units for my daughter. So like I said, she's kind of like taking charge of her schoolwork a little bit more. So I get her going with like a couple different books or videos, and she reads them and watches them, and she takes that information and she works it into her research units. So right now she is doing Explorers, and I'm just impressed with how much she's learning and how much she's just taking responsibility for her education. I really like to see that. And then in addition, she's really been enjoying the It Couldn't Just Happen book. That is a Christian book about creation. The last chapter that she was reading, like every paragraph, she was like telling me something that she thought was really cool. So that's been good. Something that I want to add yet. So we are doing an artist study, a composer study, and a poet study. Poet study, I don't know. I don't know how long we are studying each of these people / their works for, but I would like to take a step back, plan that out, and I would like to create a printable. So we're studying Robert Frost. I would like to make a printable that is like a little bit of info about Robert Frost for them to fill in, and then either have like my favorite poem was, and they can write a little bit about that, or maybe have some space for them to write a little bit about a couple different poems. I'm not sure. And same thing with like artist study, have a bit about the artist, and then have some space for a couple of their more popular works, and then they can fill those in. So far what we have been mostly doing is I'm just reading them some poetry, I'm just showing them some art, and we kind of talk about it, which is good, but I don't think it will stick in their mind as much as if they just either have a sheet of paper, even like filling in multiple choice, or just a little bit of something for writing, not for the writing purpose, but just so that it sticks in their mind and they can look back and be like, oh yeah, when we studied Robert Frost, or you know, this painting or whatever. So I would like to do that for artists, poetry, and composers. So that's on my to-do list as soon as I can get to it. And then two other things that are working well is we are back to watching some Operation Ouch. This is not related to anything we are studying, but my kids really like Operation Ouch. They learn a lot. It's English, a British emergency room show where they learn about all sorts of different ailments, and I don't know, they've learned about like broken bones and teeth, bowel disease, liver transplant, I think it was, and all sorts of different things. Prosthetics. They've been really enjoying that. And the last thing is one of our friends is organizing a monthly book club where the kids bring a book that they have read and enjoyed and just talk about it. It's very like Guernsey literary feel. They just bring a book, talk about it a little bit, and then the next person goes. And my kids were a bit nervous because this was way out of their element. It's something we've never done before, but they both really enjoyed it, did really well, came away with a couple books they wanted to try to read because their friends were excited about them. So we're doing that as a monthly thing. This lovely lady from church is organizing it, so we just get to show up and the kids get to bring their books. That has been going really well, and I'm already excited for next month because I want to hear about all the books that the kids are sharing. So there's a little peek into what's been going on in our homeschool, what's working, what's not, and I would love if you would share a few things that are working for you, resources you're liking. Just tell us a little bit about how the beginning of your homeschool year is going.